And of course, on Saturday night, the big fight in Manchester. And it was Kell Brook who came out victorious with that 6th-round stoppage against Amir Khan. But Danny, you'll have seen it. I mean, it was doing the rounds when this man and I were coming back in the train from Manchester yesterday. We were looking at social media. Now the police have launched an investigation following a video which appeared to show Phil Foden's mother being punched and the midfielder being abused on Saturday evening. And of course, not that we saw that, not that we were anywhere near that, but certainly there was a very large crowd in the arena on Saturday night, and certainly moods were running high. The temperature was high. So the footage has been widely circulated on social media. It's understood to have been filmed backstage at Manchester's AO Arena. I mean, Danny, this morning, I suppose Foden, who's still a young man, will be thinking, what on earth was that all about? Why is it, in your belief, I mean, you had this when you played, why do some people believe that they can act and target people in a certain way because they are public figures?
Well, it's generally jealousy, isn't it? You reach a level of fame and fortune and you have to take what comes with it, I'm afraid. It's as simple as that. And you have to decide yourself when you need to do the right things in terms of getting yourself some security or not frequenting the type of places where idiots go. That's it. I mean, my first year being in Liverpool, I learned the hard way. I got myself into some very difficult situations which could have ended in bad repercussions for me. I ended up moving out of the area. I ended up going to different places, and I ended up, generally, when I went out anywhere, taking some security. I mean, I remember when me, Stevie, Cara, sometimes, when we started going out and we'd become a bit more famous, we'd take a couple of guys with us. And even when I went on holiday, my own mates in the summers, I used to take my uncle with me, who was a very experienced doorman, didn't drink, keep an eye on things. It's common sense. I mean, the way players are now in terms of idolised and the adoration they get and the stick and jealousy they get and the exposure they get, it's inevitable that you're going to need some help and some security along the way. Phil Foden's a superstar. So I'm surprised he didn't take... I mean, especially when you go into an occasion like that. Look, we can analyse all we want the sentiment around you shouldn't have to, but it's idealistic nonsense. You're not going to be... there's nowhere where jealousy doesn't...
I think it boils down to it's what you do when you are confronted, Simon.
I think so.
I mean, you and I walked into a wall of it when we were trying to get a taxi outside. You walk away from it. By and large, it was good humour, and that was fine.
But we are older and wiser, so we've been on a different journey. And obviously, during my time in football, when I was 31, 32, I got a lot of abuse. But again, I'm 10, 12 years older than Foden. Danny's pretty much on the money. We don't know the length and breadth of what actually manifests itself here. We see the social media footage and it all looks very shocking, and you find very little justification in any one shape or form from punching a woman in the face. The fact she's put herself in the way of it and perhaps is a little bit overzealous in her rebuttal of whatever was and wasn't said to Phil Foden is probably ill-advised. But look, we're living in a world where these guys are elevated to huge positions of great recognisability, great wealth, and it comes, unfortunately, with a flip side. Sport is very tribalistic. When you go to events like that, people have a lot of drink, they have a lot of testosterone, and you've either got to be able to manage it and be able to not react to it and walk away from whatever anyone's saying to you because it's sticks and stones, or you've got to be able to insulate yourself from it. And insulate yourself from it is not very difficult. It's beyond the wit of man to suggest that Man City don't talk to their players. They will have spoken to their players about taking responsibility for security in their houses, taking responsibility for security in their personal life. And we're talking about these guys that are going to an event where there's a lot of people with a lot of views on different teams and different outlooks, and sports divides people. Without this great emotion, these kids wouldn't be getting these rewards. So the flip side of great emotion is some people can't control their reaction to people that are successful. It's not difficult. Get yourself a security guard on £500 a day, wheel him out when you go to these events. End of discussion, end of situation. You're removed from it, and unfortunately what you get now is a narrative that it's a persecution of footballers. Maybe clubs should do more to support their players. Well, the clubs do quite a lot. They pay their players £100,000 a week. What they do with that kind of money to be able to protect themselves when they're away playing at games, because people are aware of that and their houses need to be insulated. It's not right. It's not ideal, but we don't live in a perfect society. Dreadful things, far more dreadful things happen to far less deserving people, if that's the right terminology,
Yeah.
in life, than some footballer getting confronted by somebody and being a bit abusive to
I think
them.
the key is, I think Simon said this, how you react to it. I mean, you get the hell out of it, Danny. It's as simple as that.
Unfortunately.
You don't stand in the company of these people or beside them for anything more than 1 millisecond.
Yeah, but that's
Get out of there.
I've been in a situation where you can't get out, and so you have to. You're then in the lion's den, if you like, where you have to deal with it and put yourself in a position you don't want to be in. Hence the fact you need the security and someone who's a bit wiser.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get older, you start realizing that you don't go to those types of places, and you reduce your risk. But ultimately, you can't
Eliminate it.
You can't walk away from every situation, Jim. It's impossible. Some people don't allow you to. And I've been in that boat. I've been there. So you need some security. It's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
It's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
For a peaceful time and a stress-free environment. It really is.
Yeah.
The only thing is,
You
some
need cool
players
heads around you. I mean, again, I'm not suggesting that we do any kind of victim blaming here, but you do need your parents, if they're in the vicinity, to perhaps be a cool head. You do need to
or
be
your
able to,
siblings, whoever it may
or
be,
whoever it is, you need to be able to dissociate yourself from the nonsense. Because, quite frankly, on one side of the argument, these people are shouting abuse at you, and the other side of the argument, they're paying £150 a month to watch Sky, which is in fact contributing to your salary. So, whilst I'm not in any shape or form making a case for any vindication of any poor behaviour, but it is really and truly a case of you're in a very elite position. At 21, 22 years of age, it's probably unfair to suggest that you can superimpose an older, wiser man, whether it's you, me or Danny, that's been around the block, knows what it looks like and can most of the time get himself out of a situation or be not prepared to be put in it in the first place because he knows where he should and shouldn't go, on a younger man. But by the same token, they have to be aware. They are aware. They know that they're icons in certain people's minds. They know that their brand endorsability is what sells them. They know that they are revered and regarded in such a way. So why are you surprised when you go out and you get every now and again someone that doesn't understand the boundaries or someone that wants to push it?
Yeah.
There's a few lads in the past, players who I know, who didn't have security and got themselves and said to me that they didn't want to look flash and come across as...
You don't have to. Put them in the background.
No, I know. I agree with you.
Keep them out of the way.
I'm just playing devil's advocate to why some lads think, well, you know, I'm one of them. I'm one of the lads. I don't want to look like I'm above it. But actually, you've got no choice.
It's common sense.
I know it is.
It is. Greater Manchester Police, meantime, say they're conducting some further inquiries into the circumstances.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.